everyone, welcome back. All right, a few weeks, I don't know, maybe it's a month or whatever, we made this paper fold tree card. Well, someone had messaged me and asked me if I knew how to do some other paper fold ornaments and stuff like that. So of course, yes, Jean says yes, she does. She has a box full of tricks. So I picked out, we'll be doing 3, but not today. So I did pick out 3 that I thought would be really easy for my viewers, and they're pretty quick and everything. So we're going to do one today, and we'll do the other ones later on and stuff. I don't want to overload you. But this one is so easy. Where's my sample? Here it is. So it's the woven, a lot of people call it the woven star, but it's so easy to make, okay? So we're going to push that aside. All you need is one 6-inch piece of paper. I'm using this Bente one. I already have my strips cut, but you just need a 6-inch sheet, and you're going to cut it down to 1/2-inch strips. So there's 6 inches by 1/2 inch. And you want double-sided paper on this for this project. So you can see the front and the back. So you want double-sided paper. Okay. So then whatever, we're going to take those. I'm going to start out with 6 of them right now. And whatever you want, like for the inside, you want to face up like this. So this will be my inside. If I want this, don't worry, that'll be on the outside. But if I want this on the inside and I would rather have this on the outside, then I would start with this up. But I want the check to be on the inside, which would be this red. So we're going to leave it like that. So easy. You can use, if you want to, I just wing it. You want to just, all we're going to do is glue this right in the middle. And the easy way to do that, if you don't have any measuring things, is we're going to crease 2 of them. And so that we know where the middle is, so just crease 2 of them. And then all we're going to do is we're going to cross the 2 middles over like that and glue them down. So let me push that down. These are and they don't take long at all. Once you get the first one done, you're done. It's my middle. We're just going to cross that and hope I'm somewhat straight. I don't want to get my head in here. And right in the middle. And I can use my little thing to make sure I'm straight. And we're just making a, a cross, plus sign, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Hey. And then you can leave it in this position if you want, or if it's easy to work sideways, whatever. I leave it like this. It's fine. Okay. Then we're going to take another one, and we're going to go under the top one, and we're just going to butt it right up to it. We don't want to overlap or anything like that. We're just going to put it right next to it. And I'm going to hold it down, and then I'm going to put a little bit of glue. If it's easier for you to go sideways, go sideways. And we are just going to, it's probably easier. I usually do it sideways. Easier to see where my glue is down there. And we're just going to glue that down. Whoops. Give it time to dry, Jean. Don't be moving things. Doesn't take that long. Okay. And then this one's going to go on this side. And just right up. Don't let it overlap. It's okay if there's like a little gap or anything like that in between, So I'm going to turn it again sideways. It's easier for me if I turn it, because I can hold it like this, and I usually hold it up like this. Add my little glue. You don't need a lot of glue, and I'm putting too much down. Just make sure it's straight and make sure it's not overlapping. So then you have this. So again, let me move that aside for a minute, just so I can show you kind of what we just did. So we started out with our plus sign, and then we added, a strip, which I turn it. I don't think it really matters which way, if you put it under this piece or under this piece. I always go under the bottom piece though, not the top piece. So turn it, and then you put one piece on this side, butt it up, and put one piece on that side, okay? So now you have the 3 pieces like this. Make sure everything's down and dry. Now we're going to do the weaving part. So we're going to put the first one up and the last one up. So we're going to go up, over, or down, over, down. So just like that. So under the first one, above the second one, under the third one. Push it down, same thing. I'm just going to line it up. Try to push it in there. Line up top to bottom, and it'll like try to separate. There, just like that. Again, I'll hold it down, and then I can just take and lift. Put a little glue under there. And then I'll come down to this one and hold it in place and put a little glue under there. And then I'll turn it and do the same thing on this side. So we're going to go under the first one, above the second one, and then we're going to go under that one. That's what gives the name the woven star. Although I'm not sure if it's a star shape, snowflake shape, you know, whatever. There we go. Just wanted to get a little tighter in there. Hold. Okay. All right. And you want to do that 2 times. So you'll have 2 of these. Now, I'm not going to use this one because it's not dry all the way. I have 2 made. So you want to make 2 of them. So that's why you need 12 strips. So you got 2 like that. Give me something to glue off me. Now the fun part. Or for some people, the terrifying part. Now we're going to hold it like an X. We're going to take these 2 end ones. Okay. You see which ones I have here? So like the little V here, we're going to take those. And all we're going to do is give this a little twist. And then we're going to take this one and meet it. And we want to meet it right up to the corner. And I'm going to bring it up. So we want our little corner to line up perfectly. You see how I'm putting that in there? Slide it in. I'll show it on this side because you might be able to see the without the pattern. But I want to glue it the opposite way. Okay. So we're just going to twist it. And I'll give you a better thing. But you can just see how I am just lining up my corners. And we're going to have like a little point up there. Okay. We're going to go back on this side. So all I do is just take and give it just a, you're kind of bending it over like that. Can you guys see, like I'm just a little bit, but you don't want to crease it. And then I'm just going to bend that one over too. So first I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here. Just a little, because you don't need to overdo the glue. That's what I always do. Okay, and then we're just going to take it and meet those corners and hold it for a second. I'm using art glitter glue. And I got the Barely Arts right now. I just had to refill. I was out of art glitter glue and they won't ship right now because it's too cold. So I got my Barely Arts out. So then we got that. Okay. So then we're going to move it to here. And we're going to do the same thing. And we're going to skip that middle one. We're just going to let him hang there. And we're going to take this one and just give it a, but we're just kind of bending it off to the side here a little bit. And we'll just add just a little bit of glue. Bring this one up and put it right into the corner. So the edge meets on both sides. So we're just meeting our nice little edge there. And we got a nice little point up there. Easy. So far, easy. Okay, just give it a little hold. Wiping some of the glue off my hands. Okay. And then got the other V. So we're basically doing the 4 corners. That's what we're doing. And leaving that middle one alone. We don't want to touch him yet. We'll use him later. I'm going to put that one in there. And I usually let this dry before I go on to this step because you don't want it to come apart. So make sure it's dry. That's why I had these made up already, because by bending it, so you can pull it apart from it's down here where it's glued. So I let that thoroughly dry. if I'm mass making these, I'll get to this point. I'll make a bunch of them to this point and put them aside and then start doing this process. By the time I'm done with, you know, a bunch. And I have some different sizes that I'm going to show you when we're done with this. You can make different sizes for different things. This one's a little too big, you know. I mean, obviously you can't put it on a card or anything, but so this one ends up coming out to be about 5 1/4 inches, which is, you know, a nice size for, you know, a lot of different things you can use it on. I was just thinking of something, you know, that might be a cute, see, I go off track. Might be a cute, like a place setting. You put right on their plate. You can put their name on, or just happy, Merry Christmas or something, and put that on their plate as a plate setting. You know, these things just come to me. I don't know. And then they can, you know, have a cute little ornament to take home. Okay. Now you have what looks like this. Okay, and because I wanted them dry, I already have 2 of them made. So you do that to both of them. So again, we started with 12 strips and we weaved them together and made 2 of these. Then we took the corners and glued the corners together and came out with 2 of these. Now the fun part. We are going to leave one down. We are going to take this one and put it upside down, just like that. We are going to take the open end and line it up with one of the tabs. And we're just going to line it up like that. Okay? Then I'll pick it up. And all I'm going to do is in every opening, I'm going to bring that tab through. So I'm going to bring it through. I'm going to bring that one down through. I'm going to bring this one up. We're just going to bring them all through for now. Okay? Just bring that tab through all the openings. One up, one down. Don't worry if you crease it a little bit. Yeah, that is stiff paper. I am working with a, let's see what, 250 GSM, which I think that's around 90 pounds or something like that. I looked it up one time to see what GSM was. All right, so now you have that. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this. So I'm going to work on the opposites because you kind of want to pull it, you know, straight. You don't want to like leave one, you know, too much slack in here. So when you're gluing them down, you want to make sure it's just kind of straight across. Don't pull too hard, you know, so you know, rip your paper. So all we're going to do is take and put some glue in here. So we're going to add some glue in there. And then we're just going to glue it down. Try to center it. I like to flip it over. That's only me. And I like to make sure my point is kind of right down the middle. Yeah, that's me. I'm probably a little too picky. Okay, so give it a hold for a second. Then I'm going to go across to its neighbor. Do the same thing. I'm just going to add a little glue in there. And then I'm just going to make sure it is tight, but don't pull too tight. And I can see that that's off a little bit. I like to keep it nice and so that it all looks symmetrical. I don't think it really makes a difference. Jean just overthinks and does things sometimes. Okay, so we're going to hold that for just a second before I go on to the next one, so it doesn't pop out on me. Okay, then we're going to go across. It doesn't matter which one now you go to. So I'm going to do the same thing. We're just going to glue that. These are so fun. You actually, you know, I'm sure the kids could help you with these. They're so fun to do. And then sometimes I'll hold that while I do the other one just because I can be impatient. And then I'm just going to make sure. And I'm just going to pull it and give it a hold. That way I can hold on, you know, to 2 of them at once instead of trying to. And then if you let go, that one needs a little second. That one's staying. A little bit more glue I think I need in there. Got more glue on my fingers. And then we have to go here. And we have to go here yet. This is pretty blue or the red. I mean, like I said, any paper, as long as it's a double-sided paper, will work. But I use, of course, on this project, you do want a good weighted paper. Basically any of your papers that are in the paper pads, your 6x6 paper pads, is usually heavy enough to use. This is a pack that I have. I don't have too much left in this pack, so a lot of cut apart pages are left in there. Hold that for a second, and we have one more there yet, one side to go. Just use whatever, you know, like you just want to make sure it's heavy enough. Hold that down. You know, I could probably do Christmas projects for you guys all year long. I have so many ideas that are always in my head. And just not enough time during the holiday season. And you don't, like, you can make these stars, they don't have to be for Christmas. You know, you can make them for any occasion. Just change the paper. Okay, is that all good? Let me cap this so it doesn't clog up on me. Let me try to get some of this off my fingers. And then all we're going to do is we are going to cut this excess off. So I turn it over so that I can see right along the line of my V. And we're just going to snip off like that extra. And instead of like flipping back and forth, I usually do this side first and then I'll flip it. And so all you do is flip those off. Paper is flying everywhere. Flip it over and then I do the opposite ones. I'm going to be picking up paper pieces all they're flying on the floor too. It's easier for me to go this way. Come on. Like, what am I hitting? And is that all of them? Beautiful. See, we have that now. Now at this point, you can poke a hole in, which I don't have my hole punched down here because I've got it upstairs, of course, because I'm working. I'm going to get another one of those. But anyway, so you can, at this point, if you want to poke a hole in it, I usually kind of look, you know, I mean, and they usually look really good both sides. So poke a hole in it. You can decorate the top if you want. I have a couple that are decorated, so we'll show you those. But so at this point, you can do whatever you want. You can, you know, decorate it. I usually tend to do both sides because if you're hanging it, of course, you're most likely going to hang it. All right, so what I have is, so then I did this size, and you can see the difference in that size. This one I use 1/4 inch strips by 4 inch. So, and 4 inch was kind of about the smallest I could go. 4 inch in length, you know, it was too hard to bend and stuff. So this comes out to be, when you're finished, it is about 3.5 inches. What did I say this one was? If I get my about 5.5 inches. So it comes out to be about 3.5. And I put a little snowflake, one of these from Dollar General. And then I put a green gem in the middle of it too. And I did both sides. And like I said, you can, if you want to hang it, or, you know, that kind of would be a cute little place setting, but you can, you know, hang them around. So that's the small one. Let's get the big one in here. Now, if you really want to, I mean, this would really be nice to hang around for your Christmas party. This one, the strips are 3/4 by 12 inches long. Same technique on all of these is just change your paper, change your sizes. This one, you have to go down to 1/4 inch. 1/2 inch didn't work. It was too fat for the little, it would not go through the openings very well. So you may have to just adjust the width of your paper, and you can adjust the length of your paper. So you can go any, like I said, 4 inches up to 12 inches I did. So look at the difference in the sizes of those. I love this one. And I just cut out a circle of red glitter, and I had these poinsettia, I think those came from Hobby Lobby. I just put that in the middle of that one. And this is, of course, you probably recognize it, doodlebug paper. And then, like I said, we'll hang them. Those will be really pretty to hang in if you're having a Christmas party. This one comes out to be, hold it this way, about 10.5 inches approximately. Isn't that cute? Let me bring that down just a little bit. So you kind of get it all in the, see if I can get them all in the camera. So you kind of see the sizes, all 3 of those sizes. So how fun are these to make? To get the kids involved. Like this one here is probably your easiest to do because they're bigger. You know, so when you twist up paper, it doesn't take much to twist them. When you get down to these smaller ones, it is a little bit more difficult. Might be a little bit more difficult for kids. They may end up bending the paper. You don't really want to bend your paper. You just want to, you know, round your paper and stuff. So, you know, get the kids try. But this one, you know, this one, yeah, because it looks bigger, but it was easier to bend into the points because there was so much more volume and paper to use. But I think all of these are, and they're quite, you know, they're quite sturdy, you know, when they're done. So they're really, really sturdy. And like I said, put whatever you want in the middle and hang them up. I'll probably hang them down here in the craft room. I got, like, well, someday we're going to be showing the craft room, but I got a shelf with all my albums are on that shelf. And so I keep a lot of my projects down here in the studio. And then I have a tub and a notebook and all that stuff from the past of the different things I used to do. And the problem with that is, you know, I didn't have YouTube back then, and I wrote things down. Sometimes I don't understand what I wrote anymore because I don't have the pattern either anymore. So thank goodness for YouTube nowadays, because some things I can look back at. This was easy. I needed the measurements is all I needed. So you can find this on YouTube. Most people call it a woven star. But like I said, I used to make these, you know, years ago, and I did hang them down here. We have a finished basement down here, and that's what we did. You know, most of our party part was down here and everything. So that's where all the kids played. So easy to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will do a couple more, you know, paper fold projects come along here. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Okay, guys, I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.